Attraction often speaks more loudly through the body than through words. When a woman experiences desire, her physical expressions can reveal emotions that she may not be ready to verbalize. These subtle gestures, a shift in posture, a lingering glance, or a change in vocal tone, are guided by deep psychological and biological forces. In this discussion, we will explore how those hidden forces influence body language, helping us understand desire not as a conscious performance, but as an instinctive response shaped by emotion and attraction. This topic is not about reading minds or making assumptions. Instead, it focuses on cultivating awareness. Psychology shows that much of human communication happens beneath the surface, where instinct, memory, and emotional sensitivity interact. When seen through a calm, observant mindset, these cues become clearer and more meaningful. The goal is not to analyze every gesture, but to recognize patterns that reveal genuine interest or emotional depth. Throughout this video, we will uncover the subtle ways desire shapes movement, expression, and presence. By observing these signals with patience and clarity, one can better understand the emotional atmosphere of an interaction. This awareness brings a quiet confidence, the ability to recognize attraction without becoming overwhelmed by it. Stay with us as we explore the understated yet powerful language of desire and what it reveals about human connection. Eyes as silent messengers. The eyes often reveal desire with a clarity that words cannot match. When a woman feels drawn to someone, her gaze may linger just a moment longer than normal. She may look directly into the eyes with warmth, or she may look away quickly when caught, as if trying to hide the depth of her interest. Psychology explains that these micro-pauses in eye contact reflect emotional investment, a quiet signal of curiosity, admiration, or longing that unfolds without conscious intent. The eyes speak by holding attention, returning again and again, even when the rest of the body remains composed. Subtle changes in the rhythm of eye contact also carry meaning. Repeated glances followed by small, thoughtful smiles often indicate emotional presence. There may be softness in the eyes, a slight dilation of the pupils, or a gentle stillness when listening. These are signs that the person in front of her holds significance in that moment. Such visual expressions are never loud. They move lightly like currents beneath the surface. A person who observes calmly will recognize that the eyes often express what the voice does not yet dare to say. To understand these signals properly, one must remain grounded and clear-minded. The Stoic approach encourages observation without attachment, noticing patterns without rushing to conclusions. Eye contact can be playful, shy, bold, or quiet, but in every form it reflects emotional truth. When one sees without projecting desire or expectation, the communication that unfolds becomes more genuine. Through calm awareness, one learns to understand what the eyes reveal. A doorway into feeling, guarded yet unmistakably real. Emotional tension in presence. When desire is present, a woman's emotional state often shifts in noticeable yet subtle ways. Her energy may become more focused, her attention more intentional. Psychology notes that when someone is drawn to another, the nervous system becomes more alert and responsive. This can appear as heightened engagement during conversation or an increased sensitivity to the other person's movements and words. The emotional atmosphere becomes more charged even when no direct acknowledgement is made. This emotional tension often creates a feeling of heightened presence. She may appear more attuned, listening more carefully, responding more thoughtfully, or allowing small silences to linger without discomfort. The desire to remain in the moment suggests that the interaction carries personal significance. The mind becomes more invested and emotional awareness sharpens, even if she maintains outward composure. This intensity can be felt rather than spoken, creating a quiet connection beneath the conversation. Understanding this emotional tension requires a grounded and steady mindset. Instead of reacting impulsively or attempting to force meaning, one observes gently and patiently. Stoic awareness teaches that recognition does not require action. Sometimes simply acknowledging the emotional atmosphere is enough. By remaining calm, attentive, and respectful, one allows the emotional dynamic to unfold naturally. This balance not only preserves clarity but also strengthens the authenticity of the connection. Instinctive physical signals. When desire takes hold, the body often communicates before the mind has time to intervene. Psychology explains that attraction activates deep instinctive responses rooted in both emotional and biological processes. A woman who feels drawn to someone may unconsciously shift her body toward him, soften her facial expressions, or adjust her appearance without realizing it. These signals are not calculated. They arise naturally from an internal pull toward closeness and connection. Such gestures reveal interest not through words, but through presence. Another key indicator is how comfort and tension interact in her posture. Desire often creates a subtle balance between openness and restraint. She may lean in slightly, maintain relaxed arms, or position herself closer than necessary. At the same time, there may be faint tension around the shoulders or hands, reflecting the emotional intensity of wanting to be near someone while still maintaining composure. These physical cues reflect a deeper emotional reality, the quiet struggle between expression and control. It is important to observe these signals with clarity rather than assumption. A composed and grounded mindset allows one to notice what is actually being expressed, rather than what one hopes to see. The Stoic approach encourages patience, awareness, and respect for personal boundaries. When one observes without judgment or urgency, the true nature of attraction becomes clearer. In this way, understanding instinctive physical signals becomes less about decoding others and more about cultivating presence and perceptive calm. Subtle movements of attraction. Desire often influences small, almost invisible movements that occur without conscious control. A woman driven by attraction may adjust her posture to appear more open or graceful, perhaps tilting her head slightly, relaxing her shoulders, or orienting her body toward the person she desires. She may touch her neck, collarbone, or hair in a gentle and fluid manner. Psychology notes that these gestures are rooted in instinct. The body naturally seeks to present itself in a way that invites warmth and connection when interest is present. These movements are subtle, but they reflect a deep emotional current flowing underneath. In social interactions, these gestures often appear when she feels comfortable yet emotionally engaged. If she leans in during conversation, stays physically present rather than shifting away or mirrors the other person's movements, it suggests that her attention is not just polite, but personally invested. Mirroring, in particular, is a powerful psychological indicator of connection. When two people feel aligned, their bodies reflect that alignment. These small reflections occur naturally and rhythmically, hinting at attraction through synchrony rather than declaration. Understanding these subtle movements requires calm awareness, rather than interpretation based on desire. The goal is not to search for signs, but to remain present enough to notice them without forcing meaning. Stoic composure ensures that observation does not turn into attachment or assumption. By remaining grounded, one can appreciate the quiet language of movement while maintaining clarity and respect. In this way, attraction becomes something seen with understanding rather than urgency, a natural expression of connection unfolding at its own pace. Composure and inner response desire does not only appear in outward gestures, It also influences how a woman manages her inner emotional state. When she feels drawn to someone, there is often a quiet effort to maintain composure, to appear calm, present, and balanced, even while experiencing heightened emotion. This controlled stillness is not a lack of interest, but rather a sign of self-awareness. Psychology shows that when attraction is meaningful, people often try to steady themselves, ensuring they remain respectful and grounded rather than impulsive or revealing too much too quickly. In this sense, composure becomes a form of emotional elegance. This inner response can be observed in the way she chooses her words, listens attentively, or allows space for silence without discomfort. There is a thoughtful quality to her presence, a deliberate softness, a sense of patience, or a subtle depth in the tone of her voice. These qualities reflect not only desire but also care and consideration. They show that the moment holds significance. The Stoic perspective views this calm restraint as a sign of emotional maturity, where feeling and self-control exist in harmony rather than conflict. To recognize this composure clearly, one must remain equally composed. When you respond with steadiness, patience, and grounded awareness, the interaction deepens naturally. Stoicism teaches that the strongest connection is formed not through urgency or performance, but through presence. By remaining attentive without pressing, open without assuming, and confident without forcing, you create a space where genuine attraction can unfold. In this quiet balance, desire becomes an expression of mutual respect, subtle, warm, and deeply human. Understanding the hidden forces behind body language allows us to see desire not as something loud or obvious, but as something subtle and deeply human. When a woman is driven by attraction, her gestures, expressions, and presence shift in ways that often speak more truthfully than words. These signs are not meant to be decoded aggressively or used for advantage. They are meant to be observed with respect and clarity. Desire is delicate, and its quiet nature is what makes it meaningful. The Stoic approach encourages us to remain grounded in these moments, to observe, not to chase, to recognize, not to assume, to respond, not to react. When one remains calm and self-aware, the emotional atmosphere becomes clearer, allowing connection to grow naturally rather than being forced. This presence creates a space where both people feel comfortable, respected, and understood. Attraction in its truest form develops through patience and authenticity, not urgency or performance. As we conclude, consider the value of awareness in your interactions. Ask yourself, do you listen to what is unspoken? Do you allow others the space to reveal themselves gradually? True connection forms when we honor our own composure while recognizing the humanity in another. By approaching desire with balance and understanding, you cultivate relationships built on sincerity, respect, and genuine emotional depth.